Well, good evening, Chapter 288 EAA, Daytona Beach, Florida. I thought I would never do this again, but here we are for one more virtual meeting. We looked at the status of COVID with the Omicron variant here in the Daytona Beach area and decided it just was not prudent to have a meeting in person with the experience we've been having here at Spruce Creek. So hopefully this will be the last virtual meeting that we have. Thank you all for tuning in. Okay, it's going to be a short meeting. I've just got some slides to go through to update you on some things that are happening. And at the end of the meeting, I'll play a video that features Jack Pelton in the monthly chapter meeting video. And Jack does a pretty good job of giving you a status of where EAA National is and things that are coming up on the horizon. So that will come after the meeting, and then you can stay in as long as you like to watch that video. First of all, if any visiting members tune into this, please drop me an email. Let me know what you thought, and I'd appreciate that. president@eaa288.org is my email address. Okay, I just wanted to take a look in the rearview mirror here at 2021. If you remember, we started out virtual, then we moved to in-person. We had some great meetings. The status of the current COVID variant has put us back to virtual for this month. Based on the news stories I've been seeing, it looks like the peak was high, but will drop fairly quickly. So I expect the February meeting to be an in-person meeting again. The chapter membership stayed strong this year. We maintained about the level that we've been at for a while, and that's always good. And we hope that we'll grow the chapter a little bit bigger as we go through this month. We had a great win. We had a Ray Scholar that started and finished in a real short period of time. And he is on his way now to with his private pilot license. And he's going to go to Embry-Riddle University for 4 years to work there. AirVenture was a huge success. You know, there was a lot of discussion about whether people would show up to AirVenture. Well, they did. It was a great time, and it really helped EAA get moving again in the year. You're going to see in the video after this, and if you don't watch, I just wanted to let you know that Jack Pelton has announced that the national dues will be raised to $48 a year from $40 a year. That's the first time they've raised the chapter dues for national in quite some time. Our chapter dues are going to stay the same at $25. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. Okay, upcoming events. Sun and Fun is on the calendar again, 5 to 10 April at Lakeland. You can buy tickets online. There's the website if you want to look at that. There's also Tampa Bay Air Fest will be March 26th to March 27th. Going to be down at MacDill Air Force Base. The address down there is 9211 Marina Bay Drive, Tampa, Florida. And the Blue Angels are going to be there, so it should be a pretty good event. Find my forward arrow. We had 2 new chapter members come in this last month, Haylett Stiles and Steve Perk. So great to have 2 new people on board. Steve is a dedicated young Eagle pilot, so that's good to see. Okay, we need you to pay your dues, start of the year, $25 for chapter dues. And I'd like to encourage you to do this online. Since we're not going to be meeting this month, you can pay online through the chapter website. And these are the steps you go through to get to that site. If not, bring your money at the next meeting, although the treasurer is likely to be busy, but we sure would appreciate it if you would pay online. We, at the last meeting, we talked about the chapter leadership. We have 4 of the members are returning, myself as president, Jim Clark as vice president, Matt Simmons as vice president, and John Foster as treasurer. We lost our secretary. Cassie Kennedy relocated out of the area, and Douglas Yu has stood up to be that secretary. So once again, if you see him, thank him a lot for that. I wanted to just give you a short little promo for the website. Rick Weiss is our webmaster. He's put together a really, really good site. I go there just about every day, and there's always something new on the site. And there's always cool videos, some photos, and announcements that you really can't find anywhere. So give it a try. Right now, he's got a bunch of pictures from the bonfire, a lot of flying that went on in that. So if you couldn't get to the bonfire and see the flybys, go ahead and go to the website, and you'll see a bunch of good pictures. So please give that a try. Okay, the next meeting will be February 17th at 7 p.m. at Keith Sanger again. And based on what I've seen in the press, I'm pretty sure that we shouldn't have a problem having an in-person meeting next meeting. It appears like the coronavirus went up fast, will come down fast. So we're planning for an in-person meeting. And we've got a really great speaker lined up. Steve Wolf is coming out. Steve was the first employee of Van's Aircraft, and he's got a lot of good stories. So come on out in February, and we hope to see you then. Okay, that's all I've got. What I'd like to do now is sign off, say thanks for coming, and I am going to tack Jack Pelton's video onto the end of this so you can see the full. It's really a pretty good video. He goes through a really good overview of how the National's going. So thanks a lot, and if I don't see you before the next meeting, fly safe.
Welcome to this month's Chapter Video Magazine. You know, it's a fun time of year as we're here in the holidays and getting ready to move into a new year, but also look back at the prior year. And it was a great year for EA. Our membership is very, very strong. We set some records relative to individual membership. Is just up over 150,000 members, and total membership is actually over 250,000 people, which is really encouraging to see that in these interesting times that we've been in, we've been able to maintain and actually grow during that period of time. In the chapters, what I'm really encouraged, but also want to encourage you, is that we had a good year. We're starting to make some hay, getting back to flying young eagles and meeting again. But I know across the country, there's still lots of different rules and regulations, and it's preventing us from getting back to 100% participation. So I'm looking really forward to 2022 to be the year that we get the Young Eagle flights back on pace, and that we get all the activities that we're used to having at chapters, and probably more importantly, that we get to meet together. That still continues to be an important part of why we're in chapters, is the friendship and camaraderie that we have when we have an opportunity to meet. Which is, of course, why we should have our badges on, which I do have mine on today, to make sure we are opening and welcoming to people that come. So it's been a good year, and part of that has also been a good year for us to recover financially. Not having AirVenture in 2020 was a real blow to us, but we weathered the storm. We had some good fiscal management. We stayed on track with the things that are important for our members and threw overboard any of the unnecessary costs that we had. But to that end, we still are faced with a lot of inflation, a lot of other financial costs that continue to go up. I think everyone's aware of supply chain issues and gas prices and what have you. So unfortunately, for the first time in 23 years, we're going to announce shortly that in May, the annual dues will go from $40 a year to $48 a year. Now, that's our first increase in 23 years, and it's also not even the biggest increase that we have ever had. The intent isn't to get into a revolving, we'll keep increasing, and the intent also wasn't try to make it all back up in 1 year. So we've looked at this, we've researched it, we think that that's a tolerable incremental step to take, and I hope you'll all continue to stick with us. We're going to put some programs out to encourage you to sign up for 3 to 5 years at the $40 rate, and it's also a good time for, especially for some of you younger members, to look at that lifetime membership and do the economics on that. So going into 2022, some of the projects that we had started, which was our big addition to our museum that we called Project 21, that has the Youth Education Center on the second floor and our Pilot Proficiency Center on the first floor. We're making great progress on that, and it looks pretty clear that we'll be able to open it in the April-May timeframe. So when you're here in July for AirVenture, it'll be a good opportunity for you to come visit and spend some time in it. And for those of you in the local area, we're going to start getting the programming filled out so you can have a chance to take advantage of the different offerings that we'll have throughout the entire year. So that's exciting as we look to 2022. 2022 has some other interesting, exciting things. The milestones of our Young Eagle program will be celebrating its 30th anniversary, which is another amazing accomplishment, and we look forward to celebrating that in July. We have in January, we're going to have Home Builders Week again, which we had last January in 2021. It's a great opportunity for you to participate. A lot of education, a lot of seminars, workshops, content. I'm going to participate and talk about how amateur home-built aircraft fit into the whole aviation ecosystem, if you will, and the importance of it. I'm looking forward to participating in that with all of you who are going to hopefully watch it online. And it should be another great week, a lot of good content, a lot of information, good seminars, good workshops, and good learnings that will happen from that. And I encourage you to all participate in that. I also don't want to forget talking about our advocacy efforts. Some very good news. The activity around Mosaic, which is the rewrite that increases the weight limits or the available planes that you can fly in the LSA category and privileges, is continuing to make strong headway with the FAA. When they were here at AirVenture, we met with them, and it's going very, very strong and is continuing. We don't see any roadblocks. So that's encouraging. They're still committing to a September of 23 implementation date, and we'll keep pushing to ensure that happens. The other big issue that we're faced with, and you've probably seen a lot of news on the concern of airports that are not allowing leaded fuel to be sold at their airports. And that's starting to get a big push and a big following of EPA interest in wanting to ban lead from aviation fuel. Right now, where we sit today, we believe the EPA is going to issue an endangerment finding, which would then ban lead from all aviation fuel. What it does, we'll have to negotiate and set a date as to when that would become effective. It could be 10 years, it could be 15 years, it'll be out there a ways, but right now we do not have a single type of fuel that is a solution for all airplanes. We're really pretty good in our lower horsepower, lower compression engines. Most of the planes that we're building all can use the 94 that's out there today, which is a little more expensive and it's not distributed very widely, but we really want to push for something that has similar price point, 100 low lead, and is good for everybody. So we're working to get a reasonable date of implementation, and we're doubling down on getting the funding for the FAA to accelerate the testing of all the fuels that are in development today. So those are the big items that have been happening on the advocacy side. So it's a great year going forward. It's been a good year behind us, and I certainly look forward to seeing everybody in July, if not sooner. And I encourage you to keep those chapters strong, get those young eagles up in the air, and enjoy the spirit of aviation. Thank you.